They're unemployable, they're unemployable. Never met somebody less employable. Unemployable, they're unemployable. Never met somebody less employable.
What's up, guys? Hello and welcome to episode 82 of the Unemployables podcast. Corey Wagner, Zacho's Modern Life, Ryan, and Sean Ely coming at you for the 82nd straight week. Quarantine week 500. I know the math doesn't really add up, but deal with it. You'll figure it out. Before we get started here today, we see how the boys are doing. We see how everybody's doing in the chat on twitch.tv/theunemployables. Real quick, want to tell you about the website, theunemployablespod.com. You can get shirts, you can get koozies, you can get pins. Zach was dropping all the stuff off to me tomorrow, so your boy is going to be sending you guys out some gems. I'm going to take on that workload, and maybe Corey's taught me over the years for doing merch. Sometimes you might want to sprinkle a little surprise in there for people. You don't know what it is, you know. Maybe it's drugs, maybe it's pubes. We don't know. But theunemployablespod.com. Get stuff off the website. That was a really good endorsement. And thank you to everybody who did to support the show. Boys, how we doing today?
Good, dude. I'm posting a reminder for all of our fans around the world that they should be watching us, because I've noticed that all of our fans in the world are not. So this should let them all know. So there should be about 1,000 people here in the next few minutes. So that'll be exciting.
I like to do that too. I do a lot of embellishing. I like to Corey, I do that all the time. I like to just make numbers way higher than they are. You know, people normally will let it slide, but not Corey Wagner.
No, sir. No, sir.
No way. Yeah.
Corey is not about the what would the term for that be? Embellishment?
Yeah, he's not gonna yes and any embellishment by any means. He's gonna call it out. He's gonna.
Because in my mind, I think it's just a difference of words. Because you guys say embellish, I say fucking liars. And I go, hey,
most embellishers are.
You're a fucking liar.
You know, there's these copy editors,
and will be the first to admit that when I'm telling a story, it's not all true. You gotta know that going into one of my stories that there's a good 25% that I've gone, that could have been funnier if it was like this. And then my head goes, well, I think that's how that actually happened. And then I just believe that for the rest of my life. My reality is so subjective in terms of like how I've experienced it compared to like how others that have been surrounding me in my life have experienced my reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's really quite strange.
Yeah. One of my favorites, I remember when it was like one of Bo Burnham's like big Netflix specials, because he used to get knocked for like none of his stuff being like, some comedians are like, your jokes have to come from like reality, have to be real. Like this really happened to me if I'm going to tell the story.
No, it doesn't.
Bo Burnham goes, that's funny because that actually happened, and goes, cool, and then just drops the microphone. Like, just, I love the whole like, and I watched a Hannibal clip again recently where he goes, you probably remember that one where he's telling the story, and then later in the special he goes, I know earlier in the set I said I lived alone, but I like to change realities in my specials. I don't want you to know anything about me. Like, I love like calling that out too, of like, most of the stuff's probably not true, but
it's super fun, like just watching stand up every single day and like watching how you'll like get to learn certain comedians, and you'll get to learn like, oh, I bet you this was the truth that happened in this story.
Yeah.
And then other comedians you'll be like, okay, this is just birthed out of fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? Like there's some comedians in the city that, I mean, and they're all great comics, but there's some comedians in the city that they'll just, you know, it's almost like they're writing like a script, right? Like a screenplay, like a comedic short or something. And then they'll regurgitate that on stage, and it's funny as shit, but it's like that's their style. Like this wasn't birthed from their reality. And then there's other comedians who, like myself, I'll take the main crux of what happened, and then I'll switch things around to obviously like create a tighter narrative, right?
Yeah, right.
So make it a tighter narrative. So then there will be, the truths are typically like the actual plot to what happened in the story. And then the nonsense occurs like throughout the way to add like tags and punchlines and shit like that.
Right. Yeah. It's just starting off this episode with a little stand-up 101, ladies and gentlemen. Now you're all well-versed.
Well, it's cool too, because if you ever, I mean, obviously like the people that watch this podcast are probably into stand-up, but if you do watch some of these stand-up comedians, you'll start to like notice like their trend, right?
Yeah.
So, and like you'll start to notice their trend, and some people are just, it's fiction, right? Like I can't even think of like a good like satirical like writer or not even satirical writer, but just yeah, I mean, I guess it would be satire that just goes up and says fiction. I think for the most part, most comedians now are using a general truth through line and then just punching it up and adding tags along the way.
Yeah.
But it's hard to come up with funny fucking stories when you're stuck in the house for 9 months.
I know, right? It's hard to be truthful with that. So many people only want to hear so my living room coffee table, you know, you're kind of like, all right, I need a fucking human interaction again.
Yeah, man. What'd you do this weekend, boys?
Man, Corey, want to kick it off? How's your weekend?
No, I want to get this. You kick it off. I'm
Corey's
still
working on the Twitch stream. We're here.
Dude,
we're buffering for Corey. You called him out, so now the whole world knows.
And I'm looking at it now. They're serving people a Travis Scott meal ad right now on Twitch. Very appropriate, or maybe that's just what I'm getting. So, dude, I'll talk about next weekend because I'm excited because like most of the weekends here are just like pretty normal. But next weekend, I'm going home to Detroit for only the second time in the past like year, and I get to see Electric Eric Ely wrestle at an outdoor event. He's got this big dude. And do you guys remember WWF days? Do you remember the guy named Gangrel? He would come, he had like vampire fangs, and he would like, the lights would go down and come back up and somebody was covered in blood.
Oh yeah.
That guy is headlining this event that my brother's wrestling.
You're tugging on my dick here.
No, I'm serious. He's like, it's so insane. I'll show you guys the poster. I'll put it up on social. It's like Gangrel in the middle of the poster, and then my brother like just off his left shoulder on the poster, like right.
That's
there.
so funny.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
So it's an outdoor wrestling event. What day of the weekend is it?
It's Saturday.
Ah, shit. I was gonna say because I'm van life come Wednesday. If it was
yeah.
Friday, I swear I would have gone to it. Still
That's
trying
so
to figure out
funny.
what to do between Thursday and Friday, but Saturday I got a show at I'm doing some theater in Hobart Theater.
Oh, okay. That's great. Yeah, I was super excited. And my dad's flying up from Florida, and my whole family's going to be together for the first time since the divorce. Hey, don't make it weird, you know.
Oh shit.
And so everyone's going to be together. My brother's wrestling outside, and I was just informed that I've been asked to be in Electric Eric Ely's corner.
Oh,
If you will, for this match. So we'll see what happens with that. But either way, hoping for a big Electric Ely Sky High, the 1-2-3 pin, and then fucking win.
You got to live stream that, dude. We need to see you in action.
I think like somebody on Eric's, like, he calls his fans the power plant, you know?
Yeah.
I think somebody like films the stuff like pretty regularly. So if that's the case, I'll tweet that out.
Oh, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Man, is outdoor wrestling the same as it was like when I used to watch the videos when I was younger where people would just be power bombing people off the roof?
Absolutely. They really used the terrain very well. Yeah.
I used to love, my favorite was when they would fucking smoke someone with that big ass what was the light bulb?
Yeah, like the
Fluorescent light bulb, and
Yeah.
it would shatter and they'd be bleeding from every pore.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of that. I don't think this event has that, but I used to go to my brother's horror slam shows, and it was a bloodbath. It was like troubling to watch it. Like people getting paid $30 to get like cuts all over their backs and stuff. Like, oh God. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't. Is there, when they do these outdoor events, is it sanctioned, or is it just you got to get like a city?
Yeah,
ordinance?
it's definitely,
because like I feel
yeah.
like that's gonna be too many psychopaths in one tightly confined area.
So from how I understand it, this promoter is pretty like legit. Like to get Gangrel, you got to. So I think it's all insured, and it's like a proper venue, and like it's still like social distancing. Nobody sits near each other, so it's got to all be done a certain way to be able to happen. So it sounds like it's going to be done well, or maybe not. Maybe they'll violate city code. I don't know.
Yeah, man. They should be worried about Gangrel. They should be worried about getting gangrene.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah.
That's what they should be worried
Corey,
about.
how was your weekend?
Mine was good, boys. Mine was good. Nothing too special.
You kind of prefaced a little bit of a story for me earlier.
Oh yeah, the
that
dime
real?
story.
Was that real? Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you guys are gonna get a kick out of this. So I'm walking the other day down Addison, right? Just minding my own business. I look down, I see this dime sitting on the ground, and I'm pretty fucking broke. But I didn't feel like picking up this goddamn dime.
Yeah, it's a dime.
Oh,
yeah.
it says no audio for me.
Oh, I can hear you.
That's very interesting. Oh, here we go. Let me do something here.
Oh, maybe just turn up your mic.
No. It's on the Twitch side. For some reason, Twitch is taking in my, let's see.
Don't worry, everybody. Corey is currently fixing it. If
Properties, device. We're going to want to go with the microphone. Done. Check. Should be good now. People in the comments
Boom.
are awesome.
Bobby said boom.
Dude, thank you guys in the comments, bro. You guys are awesome. Said speak up. Speak up.
What if Corey was just mouthing the word?
Yeah. Whispering it really quietly.
Yeah.
No, so I'm walking, right? I see his dime on the ground. I'm broke, but I ain't that broke. So I look at that dime. I go, I ain't picking up that dime. I'm going to keep on moving. About 15, 20 yards down the way, this little crippled up homeless dude's rolling up in his wheelchair. And he's like, hey, you got a change? And I'm like, dude, I don't got any. He goes, a dime, a penny, a nickel, bro. Anything will help. I go, actually, I got nothing on me, but I swear to God, I just found a dime about 20 yards back there. You want me to go get that for you, bro? Because I'm seeing this guy in a wheelchair. He's going to fall out of this wheel. He'll topple over trying to pick this thing up off the ground.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So I'm like, come with me, bro. I'm walking. Well, I just completely like misdiagnosed how far this like 20 yards is. That's a bit of a hike. So I'm like, I got this dime right back here. This dude's following me, and wheelchair people, bro, they be moving slow. So he's trying to push along with me.
So slow.
Yeah.
I'm going, and then all of a sudden I hear him. He's like, you trying to remember where it's at or something? Because I'm just fucking for a minute. No. It's right up here, bro. It's right up. It's right up here. We get fucking 5 feet from this dime, and there's another guy just walking up. He goes, oh, check that out. And bends over.
Kidding me.
We got 5 feet before it. I throw that guy under the bus instantly. I'm like, oh yeah, I was just gonna give it to this homeless guy in a wheelchair. I was going to grab that dime to give it to him. And now I'm thinking I'm already absolved from this situation. I don't need to worry about this. Now the guy who picked it up's in this really weird situation because this guy in the wheelchair is going, hey bro, come on, you ain't gonna give that to me? You ain't gonna give that to me? And now this guy's looking at me like, bro, I'm trying to keep this dime. And he had already dropped it in his pocket. So he's like, all right. So he reaches in his pocket, and this guy can hear this guy's got a piggy bank up in there, bro. There's nothing but jingling coins up in this pocket. So he just hears, ding, 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 ding. He pulls that dime out, and he's like, you got any more in there for me? And now this guy has to give this other guy more money. So he went from he lost money. This guy who thought he was picking up a dime ended up losing money on that
so
transaction.
Funny.
Bro.
Dude, it's also, there's something so funny about it that it's a dime too. Like,
yeah.
I feel like the quarter is normally the cutoff point for me stopping. Like a dime is just, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'll pick up any quarter of the day. I'll pick up a quarter anywhere. But a dime, I probably won't stop for a dime. And I don't have money.
No, but like, you know, when there was like coin laundry, it was like, yeah, I mean, quarters were like gold, man. Like, you kidding me? That's a quick dry.
There are still coin laundries, you rich bitch.
I
What
meant
do you
when
mean?
I
Did he
used
say
to have
remember?
them.
Hey, you remember when I was as poor as you guys?
Yeah, what the fuck? I literally threw a load in the
Remember
laundromat
back
today. This morning, I threw my load of laundry in because my wash machine's on the fritz.
Sean's gonna be one of those guys who, when he's gonna get a Tesla, and from that point on, he's gonna be like, "Remember when you used to have to drive your cars?
Yeah.
you had to fill them up with dinosaur bone blood."
Unbelievable.
He'd be
There
like,
was
bro,
50
everybody
people.
else in the world.
There's 50 people at the laundromat today that would be very upset with your remarks.
I remember like in 2019, they used to have these like coin laundry stores. I was like, what the fuck were they washing
That
coins there?
shit is crazy.
Yeah. I haven't had coin laundry in a while. I guess I'm fucking rich, bro.
Yeah, bro. If you're in Chicago and say I haven't had coin laundry, you're doing pretty well.
But I
feel like
will
that's
say, it may not be the most effective thing, but you might have I think the richest thing is the washer dryer combo. I think that's way cooler.
That's what you got, Corey?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that's what I got, but really that's what my wife's got. She lets me live in this house, bro. This is awesome.
I think we talked about this at one point.
Apartment.
I was so excited about that. Like when I helped you move in, I was like, oh, I've heard about those. Those are so cool. And then a week later, I'm like, Corey, how's that like washer dryer combo? That's gotta be sick. He goes, yeah, it's sick, man. I put a load of laundry in and it takes 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it holds like 7 shirts. You can put like 7 pairs of t-shirts, maybe 1 jean in there.
Does it automatically switch it over to dry and dry it for you?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of magic bullshit it does, but it does.
That's dope.
That's fancy.
That's crazy, bro. You got to get yourself a rich wife, bro.
Yeah, you get one of them washer dryer combos.
I've been looking for them.
It's hard because it's almost like stocks. Like I couldn't just find a rich wife, right?
Yeah.
I got to find a broke ass wife that I see the potential of her.
Yeah.
And her. And so she's pissed right now. I'm saying this shit. I hear her in the back. Oh, okay. So I
need to find some of them with potential. That's what I gotta look for. That's typically not the first thing I look for. But I need to change my ways.
Yeah, you go straight to the feet.
Yeah, I go straight to the feet, and that's an instant yes or no. Like we got to get past that first. Because that'll derail the whole fucking thing. I don't care how much potential you got. You got a whole second and third toe bigger than the big toe.
Right.
Yeah.
And honestly,
shit. Bobby Hajar just redeemed a hot seat.
Ooh. For 3. What does that mean?
He just spent 350 points.
Is that
on
good?
the hot seat.
Ooh, it's our first hot seat. Sean, or Zach, I don't remember what the hot seat is.
Me either. I got to find out.
You're the person who made these up, bro. You high ass bitch.
All right, here it is. I'm looking at it. It says hot seat. Pick a host. Ask a question. That host must then answer you in a full 60 seconds. Rant means you got to keep going. Just keep explaining yourself because we want to hear the good, bad, and the bullshit.
All right, I got the timer coming right up on the
So
phone.
whoever just redeemed that, Bobby, you get to pick a host and ask your question.
So he did both of those.
Oh, he did?
He says, yeah, learn how to read, you big dumb bitch. I hate you. He said, Sean, and why is red sus? Which I don't really understand that. But
I get it. I get it. Because it's my weird.
Stopwatch. Tell me when you're ready to go.
All right, I have to answer why red is sus. Okay, go.
For 60 seconds, go.
Go.
All right, so I saw red near blue and green in the electrical room. So I was going inside electrical. I had 2 tasks that I needed to complete, okay? I had to flip a switch on the right side of the room, and on the left side of the room, I had to do almost like a Simon Says style game to be able to cross some wires off and to be able to repair the ship. But what I saw I saw the red character go into electrical, and then came back out, and I walked in and there was a dead body sitting in the middle of the electrical room. So I reported that body immediately, emergency room. And then I want everyone in the game to vote for red because they are the imposters, Zacho. Okay. Red is the imposter. I am a crewmate. Okay. Me, 9 other people, brown, purple, light green, dark green, bunch of other colors, all crewmates, but red, suspicious. So what you need to do is in the voting right now, vote red as the imposter and we'll get them.
60 seconds.
Unbelievable. So is that about that game Among Us?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's
is. I'm
gotta
so
be.
glad you knew what the fuck I was talking about.
I'm a gamer, man. I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
I've been so busy with this getting my van life ready that I haven't even been able to play it yet. And I'm pretty upset about it.
Can I tell you guys about it?
Please
Can I
tell us.
first tell you what I felt that was?
Yes.
That seemed like what would happen if I was in high school and I walked past the nerd table. That's the type of conversation. That's exactly what I feel like
that was high
I'd
school.
hear if I was eavesdropping on the dork table. I'd be like, yeah, they still talking about weirdo shit.
It's like red is sus. Red is sus. Yes.
And
So
I think it means why is the red character a suspect?
suspicious. I'm suspicious of red. So here's the thing.
God, Bobby, you're gonna get fucking kicked out of this chat. Is what you're gonna get.
It's so funny. So
yeah, I'm ignoring this. You just lost 350 points.
So I normally
you're not doing that again, bro. I'm not sitting through 60
Yeah,
seconds.
man. That's a majority vote.
I think Bobby's just trying to make this podcast boring. He hates it and he's trying to get it taken down.
He's trying to get it literally to be defunded by every patron.
But Among Us, though, let's talk about Among Us because this is something that's pretty prevalent right now. What is this game about? Is it about snitching?
So I am not like I'm not a big iPhone gamer person. And Bobby was like, dude, so you know how we love the game Secret Hitler? Have you guys ever heard of the board game Secret Hitler? I know it sounds inappropriate. Okay, so basically,
one time.
it's basically like a party game where, let's say like 8 of us got together, right? And
This sounds like Thanksgiving. Like,
yeah, it's like a good
get
Thanksgiving
together and you
game.
got to figure out who the racist is.
Yeah,
It's always my uncle.
Who the
It's my
person
uncle.
in your family who fucking resembles most Hitler.
Except we
Yeah.
always go into it knowing we needed some reassurance. We're like, yeah, he's still that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's a game where everybody's designated a role, and you're either like an ally, like not Hitler, or one person is Hitler. And in that board
Are you going to
game,
tell
like,
us about the Hitler game, or are you going to tell us about this other game? Because I don't have
So-
the energy to listen to two.
there's a
different
segue.
games.
There's a segue. So
Okay.
this iPhone game is basically like a iPhone version of that game. You're trying to sniff out who the like imposter on the ship is. So all the people online playing the game, like 10 people, 9 of those people are crew members, and they're all going around the ship trying to like complete tasks. Like I was saying, like little electrical wires need to be repatched, blah, blah, blah. So all those people are working together. But the Among Us thing is, among those 10 people is the imposter, and they're secretly killing people and trying to mess the ship up. And then there's rounds where everybody then has to vote who they think is the imposter. And most of the time, people who are just really good at like in the chat being like very condescending, like Bobby, of course, is so good at this game. And whenever he's the imposter, he has everybody thinking he's on their side. And so we're just voting off people who are actually like good crew members. So it just gets addicting. It's like one of those games where you play it and you're like, a couple rounds go by and you're like, holy fuck, I've been playing this for like an hour. So last night, me and Bobby played probably from like 10 to 1 a.m. or some shit. Like we were just playing forever. So it's just super fun. It's just a silly, stupid, like, and it's so everyone's like, some people are very bad at lying in the game and it's very obvious and shit. And so that's the game.
I gotta
And it's
tell
apparently
ya,
very popular.
the main website I go to for the past 5 years has been World Star Hip Hop. And the phrase "sus" on World Star Hip Hop means something completely different.
What's it mean?
That means they'll be like, bro, this dude's he's acting a little sus, and it'll be like a guy grabbing another guy's dick. It means that it's like he's got some suspect type of actions that he may be pretending to be straight, but he's got some gay tendencies.
Well, that's just gay. A guy grabbing another guy's dick, that's a gay move. That's
well,
not
so
sus.
like
Sus
no,
would
there
be
was
like if he
let me
looked
tell
at
you.
his dick.
So here was some sus stuff on World Star Hip Hop today. That was a guy grabbing a guy's dick, and it was like this preacher dude's a little sus, and he was trying to like yank the demon out this dude's dick. He was like he was grabbing this guy's groin in like under the curtain of it being a religious activity. So, you know, I hear you, but there are people who find ways to, in a very sus way, grab a dude's dick and say this ain't gay.
To me, it's sus. If you looked at my dick like, I go, that's a little sus. But if you grab my dick, that's a gay move. You did a gay thing.
But maybe what if you were like, bro, I'm real sad. I've been having depression for the past few months. And I was like, bro, I got a thing that can do it, but it's going to be uncomfortable. And you're like, what? I'm like, just let me grip on, bro.
That's
and
sus.
Like,
that's a sus conversation.
That's sus. But once I grab your dick, but what if you all of a sudden are less depressed? You might be like, that shit wasn't gay. That was just a way to make me less depressed.
It can be both.
Bro, I'm on World Star Hip Hop way
It can
too
be gay
much.
and make me less depressed. It might just make me learn something about myself.
Yeah.
It might just make me
Bobby
learn
and I
something.
were like,
I saw the video today about the playoff game where you know how they do the kiss cam. I don't know if it was a basketball game or football game or what, because it was close up on her, but they put this camera on this girl and they catch her dunking a chicken nugget into her Coke and eating it.
Wow.
And then she looks up and sees them catching her, and it's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I've never in my life seen someone do that candidly and try to disguise that. Never in my life seen someone just been like, I need chicken and a Diet Coke. And they're like, well, would you like dipping sauce? And she's like, no, I already ordered the Diet Coke, but thank you.
Yeah. People you hear people dip in the salty and like the frosty, but not in just Coke.
That's fire though.
Yeah, of course. Little salty, little sweet.
Yeah, but never a little salty
aspartame?
little aspartame. Yeah, you don't want that shit.
That's why.
Is that what they're still putting in the Diet Cokes these days? Aspartame?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's the best ingredient. I love it, man.
I remember when
we
they
don't
first.
know. Don't act like we know. We don't
Remember when they
fucking know.
first
That's what they
started
tell
coming
me.
down on that shit? They were like, "This is the stuff that causes cancer. This is it. This is it. It's just this and heating up plastic in the microwave. This is the only two things." Now everything
was-
will be cancer.
it
It's so
was
much
like-
easier when I was younger. Remember when we were the whole world was fucking stupid, and we didn't have all the information that we do now, and everything just seemed so much easier.
Yeah, but like my grandpa's 95 years old, and he's probably checked every box of things that are cancerous. Like, and he's just still being like, I'm doing great. It's like, man, like I don't even know if I believe any of that shit, dude. Like, this fucking dude is old as shit, and he's just
You
fine.
should believe in cancer. That
You
shit's
should definitely believe in that, bro.
That shit's mad real.
Yeah,
I don't know,
like,
dude. That was
eating up
some weirdo
plastic.
shit. Man, I don't know. I know one guy who lived a long time.
I don't
so
buy it.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if anything can kill you.
It's good for me because he has my DNA and is a male. So like I gotta.
Bro, he
follow
doesn't have
some of
your
that.
DNA, bitch. You better respect your elders, bro. You have his DNA.
He's got my DNA. My
Yeah.
grandpa looks just like me.
You better respect your elders, bro.
He's been alive for 70 more years. Do you remember what
Plus, if you
everybody-
think about it, like if old people, like when they don't die from cancer and shit, and be like he's 95?
95, yeah.
This motherfucker was alive, like he was born in the 1920s, bro. That's fucking crazy town.
No, before
That is crazy. That was Titanic days.
Oh no,
He coulda got him a ticket.
So if he
Yeah.
was born in the 20s, I will say this though. We've been putting a lot of the stuff they say causes cancer, huffing all this fucking smoke and all these factory fumes. He was huffing a lot less of that for the first 25 years of his life. We weren't really manufacturing world the way we are now, so maybe factor that into your life. before
Oh,
you
but
start
dude,
not
I don't
believing
know
in
because
cancer.
like those old factories and shit, they didn't have none of the safety precautions they got now. Like they didn't have like the ventilation systems in there.
That is
nothing.
true, but
Motherfuckers
still,
would
if there
come
was
out
only
there-
3 of them, and now there's a billion of them, you know what I'm saying? Like even if they
Yeah,
were
but if you
putting out
worked in
worse
one of
shit-
them 3, you were fucked. Plus, you had to
Oh,
start
that's
working
true. No, that's true.
Plus, you had to start working when you were 7. So that shit didn't
Yeah,
help
that
at all
shit-
either.
Yeah, that's true.
7
that
years
is
old,
true.
working in that, coming out with dust and a beard.
Yeah,
7.
bro. That's wild.
See those old
times, man.
pictures? Saw a picture the other day of 3 7-year-olds sitting at a table doing their taxes. They're covered in dirt. Right out front of a factory. On
There
their
you
on their 3-minute break.
Do you remember how
12-hour shift.
Oh, Sean, you
What?
might got to.
What?
Zacho, are you hearing that?
Yeah, Sean, your microphone sounds crazy.
You might have to pop off and on in the old Zoomy. Try talking.
Is it still bad?
No,
Oh,
it's
there
good
you go.
now.
You're good.
That's weird.
Stop messing
do
up
you
your
guys-
pod.
Do you remember when we were growing up?
Wait,
how
no, still bad.
so bad.
Kourtny
Yeah,
says his grandpa was a boiler maker in Detroit. They used to spray asbestos on everything.
Oh yeah, bro.
Asbestos. I put that shit on everything.
Yeah, that is wild. Anyways, let's hurry up and change the conversation so Sean can't say whatever he's about to say.
Yeah, let's definitely change it.
No, he did it. All right, what were you gonna say?
Let's change it. No, it's not good. It's bad.
You still sound robotic.
That's weird. I wonder why you just started doing that. Really?
No, I think it sounds good. We're really close to it now.
I'll be here. Hi.
Yeah, like, that sounds good, right, Zacho? To you? Or
Yeah.
no?
Sounds good to me now.
Can we skip me?
Say what you were gonna say or no?
No, I was just gonna say the one of the things that was hilarious growing up that they were like everybody used them, and then remember when BPA free became really big for cancer? Like everybody used those Nalgene's. Remember those plastic like fucking water bottles? Like everybody on every team in high school had like a Nalgene bottle, and then they were like, "Oh, those will literally give you cancer." And I was like, "Oh, I used that every single day for 8 years. That's cool." Like that was a big one where they just one day were like, "Things have to be BPA free or you're gonna die." And they're like, "What? How do we just find this out?"
Oh, boys, speaking of marijuana, I found out some information
This guy, I'm ready for it. What is it,
this
bro?
week that I'd love to share with you. So I've been wondering, because I've been going to, like, when the dispensaries first started popping up and you could get edibles, I would go there and be like, "Hey, you have any, like, sativa edibles?" And at first they, like, had sativa edibles and then they had indica edibles. But later on, you just started seeing edibles, and you're like, is this sativa or indica? And they're like, I mean, I can look it up, but I'm not too sure.
It doesn't matter. There's not one or the other, isn't there?
There is but here's the difference. So a sativa and indica is just the plant, right? And each of those plants typically is the cannabinoid or the cannabinoid makeup that's different in a sativa and an indica. So all the cannabinoids, there's 200 and some different cannabinoids: THC, THCA, CBD, CBDN, CBG, all this other shit, right? But when you turn that down into an oil, and when you break the sativa or the indica down into an oil, it removes all of those into either strictly THC or strictly CBD. So all the other cannabinoid profile is gone. So it doesn't matter. So essentially, if you can make edibles from a sativa and you can make edibles from an indica, but they're strictly going to be broken down into just THC or just CBD. So either way, it doesn't matter. So like even the pens, apparently. So like even the pens that are oil, because it's oil, it like breaks all that shit down. I mean, maybe they have like specific ones where they don't, but for the majority, when they break that down, it's mainly into THC or mainly into CBD. So, which in theory then is why they prescribe, like when we are able to do like research and shit like this, they're gonna have to figure out more ways to use the weed plants as a medicine, because you're not gonna be able to tell a 6-year-old kid he's got to smoke grass to fucking, he's got to smoke flower to fucking heal himself.
Imagine though, bro, a blunt.
Yeah. Like the oils and stuff, because of their profile, they only like do so much for like certain things right now. But when we can do more research and we find out like these other cannabinoid profiles heal other things, right? We can't do research on it now because of the federal illegalities. We're going to have to either be like telling these kids they got to smoke the shit, or we got to do more fucking research. We're behind the ball either way. I think, man, people are going to be making so much money off weed for like the next 20 to 30 years.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be.
Bro, what the fuck did you just teach me? I feel like I listened to a bunch of shit and I don't know what the fuck I learned. What did I learn?
When you break the sativa or indica down into an oil, there's not a difference between the sativa, like the upper and the downer. There's no difference in when you break it down into an oil and make edibles with it, or just smoke the oil out of it.
So is that good for kids? What's the deal with the kids?
Well, with the kids that have like they have like seizures and shit, they're able to use the oils because like it's just that THC that heals, that is like curing that. It's not
so
the
they
other
can do
cannabinoids.
edibles to get better?
Yeah, they can, because they only need the THC. But what I'm saying is, like, if you want to go to get an edible and you're like, I want a sativa because I want an upper and stuff like that, there's no like upper for edibles. There's no like downer for edibles, just THC. So you're not getting a different cannabinoid profile whether you have a sativa oil or a indica oil. The only way you can feel a difference between an indica and a sativa is if you smoke straight flower, because that's when you
learned
get
two
the
things.
other profiles. You learn a few things, motherfucker. If you keep paying attention, you might learn a third.
So much. I don't know, bro. So kids are got to eat edibles.
No,
We're going to make them smoke it?
no. I was giving, those were circumstantial anecdotes. You
Oh,
missed
so
the
that's
whole setup of it.
I'm not learning nothing then. I went
No.
from learning two things to learning. I went from learning 0 to learning 2 to back down.
Look,
to
learning is subjective. All I can do is teach.
0. Yeah.
All I can do is provide the information. It's up
The
to you whether or not you
The
grasp.
outcome of this was a lot like that homeless man dime story, where that one guy thought he was getting a dime, then lost $1.50. That's
Yeah,
kind of what
right.
happened to Corey.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when you tried to convince us red is gay?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I do. And so does everyone else that listened to this.
Oh God.
Hey, I'm going out on a van on Wednesday, and I don't know where I'm going.
So like when you
Man,
get in the
it's
van
becoming
on
real.
Wednesday morning, are you just gonna go, all right, what am I feeling in this exact moment? And
Well, I'm
then
not going to get in Wednesday
decide.
morning. I'm going to wait till after lunch, probably. I'm probably
Okay.
let the day
let
sink
the
in,
morning traffic kind of work itself out.
read a
right?
book, hit the gym, fucking get prepared, mentally prepare. You can't just wake up and get in a van and decide that's where you're living now. You need to let it soak in, dude. You know what I mean? You need to let it
Yeah.
soak in. So when I get in that van, I'm going to be honest. I have fucking no clue what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm doing up until Saturday when I do a show in Indiana. After that, I'm going to the Smoky Mountains. After that, I'm
Ooh.
going to Big Bear Cave, which is right by the Smoky Mountains.
Mhm.
And I'm going to my mom's house to figure out if I did that portion right or not, and to reconvene and to hopefully stock up on some food down in South Carolina. Conformity Farm says your vlog is going to be fire. Yeah, and I'm definitely going to start vlogging too. So I've been like studying, reading vlogs or watching vlogs. I've been watching a lot of Corey's vlogs actually, because I was between you two, and then I was like, who could I and who should I emulate?
And I
And
can
it
only
was-
watch one person's.
I've seen, yeah. So I've been watching. I've seen a lot of your vlogs before, Sean, as well. So I've been just like seeing the structure that you both use. Once I get the structure, it won't be so weird. It's just like my weird thing right now is just turning a camera on myself and talking. That shit to me is fucking. That shit's so fucking
Yeah,
weird.
like we said though,
Because
like
I'm always like, why does anyone care about this? Why would anybody care to hear about this shit? And then you put some cute music in the background, and you're like, never mind, this is
Yeah.
fire.
I know.
So that's the trick.
Yeah, just edit on the beat and tell a story, and you'll be fine.
Also, I try to remember, like, I don't give a fuck if anybody does care about this. Some of this shit, I just really enjoy. I think about like what it's like for me a year or 2 or 5 or 10 years later being able to watch it. It's like more for me.
Yeah.
Like my big thing is like when I made that one when my brother came in town, and yeah, I remember my brother coming in town, but I don't remember all the details. When I watch that vlog, I get to see the fucking details. Be like, damn, that was a sick ass trip. I don't give a shit if anybody gives a fuck about that in the internet. They probably don't.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like a digital photo album, bro. It's like a photo album, but better. It's like do
That's
it
how
for
I gotta
yourself,
view
you
it
know what
for
I mean?
sure.
Mm-hmm.
You're just documenting. You're doing this dope once in a lifetime trip. And how cool would it be if 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you get to go relive it, and you're gonna relive it a lot better through a video than through watching like going through Facebook pictures.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know
And I
what
got
I mean?
and I got a drone now. So
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which
very
drone?
excited. I got the DJI Air Mavic 2.
Hell yeah,
4K 60
Hell yeah.
FPS, baby.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, those drones, that's the best. I'm vlogging this upcoming weekend back to Michigan. I'm going to do like a Michigan vlog. And it makes like traveling more fun to me.
Yeah. When do
Like-
you start vlogging? Like before you leave your house?
For me, I always like kind of storyboard, like, do I want to do the whole like leaving, packing, like that be the start of it? Or is that boring as shit? And I'll just start it like at the first exciting thing. So I haven't really like, sometimes the thing like with me and that camera, like sometimes I'll just shoot everything and then I have fun in the edit, like making something out of it. And other times I want to like keep it very, like, I know exactly what the beats are and I do that. So like, I just kind of decide in the moment.
I
like,
would say to start, because like I'd say just to start, if it's your first time, you don't really know how you're gonna like. It's first time ever making a vlog. Just every time you're about to do something, turn the camera on and tell the camera what you're doing, and then take some video of it. And then in the editing room, you'll always have the pieces of a story.
right.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
If you're always, all you gotta do is say like, all right, about to go do this. And then you'll always be able to put together a story as long as you have those like, those little chapters of it or whatever. And then you
Right.
can go through and you're like, oh, this is kind of boring. Cut it. This is kind of boring. Cut it. Like I've cut like 60% of my vlogs before. Like I'll cut a
Yeah.
whole bunch of shit and be like, this isn't that as exciting as I thought it was going to be. And then once you condense it down into like a little tiny story, it'll be way more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I gotta do. Do you write your script? Do you script it out first, or do you just on the fly? You're like, oh, I'm moving now. Let me start recording. Oh, I'm moving again. Let me start
On
recording.
a trip like that, I'd usually just do it on the fly. Like when I went to Cleveland for Dwayne's birthday, it was more just on the fly, like doing this. All right, now we're doing this. Now we're going to the bar. Now we're playing beer pong. Now we're doing this. Or if I'm trying to like tell a story, like the shit I've been doing during quarantine, where there's no fun like daily activities to go do, and I actually have to come up with a story, then I'll actually have to like write the story out, because it's just so much more boring now, like only having my apartment basically as like a set. Then I have to be like, all right, let me write this out so I can figure out like where I can put different like added storytelling techniques to like beef up this boring content of just me and my apartment. So storyboard when it's not as fun activities, but like going on a trip, going on this traveling shit, everything's already dope. You can kind of just like do it on the fly, but storyboarding's also always great. If you can storyboard it out first, it certainly won't fucking hurt.
Yeah.
I always say like leave room for spontaneity. Like sometimes if you over try to plan, then you don't leave moments for like those fun little nuggets of stuff, or like don't be afraid of like having random one-off things, because you can always like, those can be transition scenes if it's just a one stupid little thing, like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes those are the best things. Like people always remember like those unique little moments, I feel like, in vlogs a lot of the times, rather than the full story. Like the story keeps it like cohesive and a thing, but people's, I feel like, favorite parts are always like little one-off stuff that happens. Like that's kind of what I've always noticed. Like, so always like leave room for that, like just have fun with it. But to Corey's point, yeah, like that, as long as people don't realize like you have to tell the camera what's happening, because the person won't know, you know what I mean? Like they need to be like spoon fed that a lot of the time. So
Yeah. Vlog life is dope.
Vlog life. Yeah, a lot of that over the years. Oh man.
Yeah, I did something different last week on the edits. I posted the video of our Twitch stream rather than our.
Is
it's
that because you didn't record the Zoom?
Yeah.
Like how I said it, like, yeah, I'm trying a new technique. It's where I forget to do the one thing, so
Yeah.
I wing it.
Well, I noticed like 5 minutes into our last thing that I didn't start recording, and I was like, I can either cut off with Sean's intro. Yeah, I'll just post the whole fucking thing. Yeah, post the whole fucking thing.
I'm sure nobody noticed.
Yeah.
No, I think it's gonna. No, I mean, I've been wanting to do that, and I want to do it for the clips anyways, because I want people to see like the interaction with the chat, and I want us to get more like interactive with the chat and stuff like that. So I want people to end up seeing it when we have clips where we're talking with Bobby or Conformity Farm or Jew Daddy. That's her name. Whoever that is.
Jew, and they also don't realize that your shirt is not Rocco's Modern Life. That's Zacho's Modern
Life, baby.
He stole it and he's profiting off of it.
I changed enough of it to where it's mine.
I know. It's genius and perfect.
Hell yeah. Man, dude, I'm just ready to get out and start living life again.
Dude, you said you're going to the Smoky Mountains. That was one of the first, when I graduated college, I got offered a job at the Smoky Mountain News for $19,000 a year salary.
Would you have to move there?
Yeah, I had to live like an hour outside of like, what's that one? That town in North Carolina, the West Asheville.
For $19,000, you can make $19,000 a month at the gym.
But I also thought to myself, I bet $19,000 goes a long way in Western North Carolina. I could have probably bought a pretty nice place.
In North Carolina, yeah, but yeah, then you got to be racist.
I'm just kidding. 19,000. That's got to be like less than minimum wage. I don't even know how they could, how they're allowed to pay someone that little amount of money. I turned it down.
19,000 seems,
but it was
less than $10 an hour, isn't it?
I was
making like close to 19,000 in Chicago, and I survived.
That's true.
I wasn't doing well, but I imagine that it's probably way cheaper to live in bumfuck mountain town than it is to live in Chicago.
So 19 grand divided by 52 weeks in a year is $365 a week.
Oh yeah, you can easily do that.
And that's before taxes. So you probably make about $280. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's rough. But whatever, turn it down.
Sean, have you ever tried out the NXT Performance Center? That's a comment from Jew Daddy.
Have I ever tried? Yeah, I tried out for NXT. No, my brother's a wrestler. No, I have not, to answer your question. But thank you for thinking that might be something I could do.
Conformity Farm says his taxes were $750. Do you see that shit?
That was so funny.
How much is that all true? I haven't really looked into that. Did President Trump really pay $750 in taxes?
Yeah, he took a loss 2 years in a row.
That is crazy.
And then I was talking to Corey about this today in the car. I was like, it's so funny because like you knew exactly, like everyone's like, oh man, as soon as those tax returns come out, it's going to be game over for him. And everyone was like, no, it's not, because he's just going to do that thing where he goes, well, it's currently being audited, so I can't talk about it. Sorry. And they were like, it's been being audited for 5 years. And he just goes, yeah. He just,
and you know what? The funny thing is too, is like people want to hate Trump, right? I want to hate Trump, but if I'm looking at that objectively, is it Trump's fault that the guy doesn't fucking pay taxes, or is it the way our tax system is built? You know what I mean? Like you really hate the guy for, I'm trying my hardest to pay the least amount in taxes too. I think
I don't think that's the thing that people are in uproar about, because you're right. It's the system that's fucked. I think people are in uproar about how hard he used to go at Obama for not paying taxes. And then this motherfucker was paying $700. He was like, he paid 20% or some crazy shit. and was going off. All his old tweets came up, and the whole time, like in that same year, he wasn't paying taxes.
Yeah. I mean, I agree a little bit, but also I've only seen about 3 people post about it on Facebook, but I haven't seen any of them be like, man, I can't believe this motherfucker was talking shit about Obama. But I've seen all of them say, I pay
you
more
need
in
more
taxes.
comedians on your Facebook, because that's all people are talking about.
I've seen people, all people on my, so yeah, that might be the difference, is the comedians and the regular folk. I think the regular folk on my Facebook, I've seen them been saying like they're pissed that they pay more in taxes than he does.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious too, though.
You know what I'm saying? So they're like, but the thing is like, is it the guy's fault? You know what I mean? Like the system's just fucked up, but people don't really, I think at least there's a good chunk of people, I'll say that. I bet you there's a good chunk of people that have that like thought process where they're like mad at him for not paying more taxes rather than mad at the system for not forcing him to pay more taxes.
Yeah, I mean, there's more people that are idiots than just him. All those people are idiots
Well,
too.
the whole
I mean,
system's
the whole
hilarious.
thing the thing that's funniest to me was just how much he was talking shit about how hard he came at Obama about taxes, and how much he's been saying that this shits have been audited, and he knew the whole time this motherfucker knew he paid $750 in tax.
Of course.
Well, yeah,
Of
that's
course.
also why he was so like hesitant to have that stuff come out. And then, but he's had 5 years to like get his response ready. You know, like he had his team has had that ready.
But it doesn't change anything, because this is gonna be like everything. We're gonna forget about it here soon, and then we're just gonna be on to Biden versus Trump.
He
And
paid. Sorry, go ahead.
Another question is, should he have to pay more? If the reason that he paid, so the reason he paid so little, and I haven't looked into it a ton, but this is just my like loose grasp on it. So if I'm wrong, help me out. But he took those huge, massive losses in the real estate game. Like he lost like some crazy, like millions upon millions.
$315 million.
$315 million. So when you have those types of losses, you're allowed to write off those losses for like a decade straight. You can seriously, you can chop those losses up and write off a certain amount of those losses every year. So from all his gains from that point forward, he was able to write off. So that's kind of a good, I mean, that it's the system. It's hard to fix that system. It's interesting because you shouldn't, if you take massive losses, what do? You just get fucked? Or should you be able to write off some of those losses on future? It kind of makes sense. You should be write some of those off on future tax years.
Your takes are pretty hot according to the chat. Bobby's saying he counted $70,000 in haircuts as deductions. His losses weren't why they were so low. It was fraudulent claims, etc. And then Jew Daddy, man, you gotta change your name. Jew Daddy, he paid more on haircuts than I make in a year.
That's
It's
crazy.
interesting because like you can, but I mean, you can write off beauty, any salon, any beauty, because like he's on camera and he's whatever.
Yep.
So obviously that price is insane. Like he probably pays the most money you could pay for a haircut, right? But like it's technically allowed. It's
technically
just
allowed,
It's just kind of fucked up. Like also taxes are hilarious because like,
I don't think anyone. Yeah, I mean, yes, technically allowed.
It's whatever. You can literally go on to TurboTax and just make up. You could be like, you know what?
Sean, trust me, I know.
But it's so funny how it's like maybe the government will find out, but you might be too small of a fish in the pond, and you know what? You might get away with it. And so
you can also be honest about it. Like he can, you can get $70,000 worth of haircuts.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely possible to go and be like, I'm getting $100 haircut every day or whatever.
Now with his mop he's got on top of his head, $5, get him a new one of those.
You could definitely do that. And so it is legal. Keep all those receipts. And you don't even have to fudge. It's just a fucked up thing. It's just like, should that be allowed? What's the cutoff point? How do you tell someone? Because that is part of his business, is having a particular look.
Yeah. For sure. It's also
I get on these topics, I'm ready to roast and make jokes and have fun, and then it turns into a fucking
I know.
We get
because
too
it's
mad.
like because I
oh
want to
boy, here
like
we go, learning time.
because I'm the guy I get bored just making jokes. Like I don't know. Sometimes I'm like I want to actually talk about this. This stuff fascinates me, and so I'm like I don't give a shit about jokes. this is interesting stuff to me.
I think about people who like only make like, you know, mid-tier salaries, and then they get audited, and it like, because you know getting audited obviously like takes like a lot of mental anguish and like takes a long time, and then if you get fined, it can like make or break you, right? So I think about somebody like him, like not having to really deal with like that. And then there's like somebody who's trying really hard and being honest, and then they get audited for like some little thing or something. And I was just thinking about like, man, it's crazy how you just have no idea. There's no, like, you never know if it's going to be you or if it's not going to be you. And it's a weird process, that whole thing. Taxes freak me out.
Oh man, I live for that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit about jokes. Should be the new channel motto. That's what Bobby said.
Clearly.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, we don't have to talk about the federal income taxes. It's cool.
Yeah, but also at the same time, I just don't expect. That's like what I expect. I just expect political nonsense nowadays. Like I would never have expected them to be like, Trump, he paid a tax amount that everyone would probably think is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird. A little
Because even if he
off-putting.
did, someone else would be freaking out about why he shouldn't have. He should have only paid $750 in taxes. They would have ran all those numbers, going, he could have written off all those haircuts for $70,000. But it's just like subjective realities, man.
I would love to look through like a bunch of celebrities, what they write off, that list. If like that was like a BuzzFeed article of like 25 celebrities and what they write off every year. Cause it's just like, it's just the Wild West. Like you can justify a lot of different things. I remember like the first time I went to like a place to do my taxes when I had like a bunch of 1099s for work and stuff. And like the guy being like, yeah, you can write off your Netflix subscription and your Hulu subscription. I was like, what? I was like, and he's like, yeah, it's technically research. If you're in entertainment, I mean, how else are you going to see stuff people are doing? And I was like, it feels like everything can be justified in some way. It's so wild.
Now when you're on unemployment, you just, whatever they take out on unemployment, those are my taxes I'm paying.
They go, what'd you make? You go, whatever the government gave me. I don't know.
Whatever the government, that was it, man. I promise.
Yeah.
I promise. I've just been sitting here applying for jobs all day, every day in my hat.
Yep.
And that is what I'm doing.
I think
I think a push towards federal legalization of cannabis will boost the economy, though. I think that absolutely will. I don't see anything else that could do it other than a cure. Cannabis is here, baby.
Yeah, you're going to bat for that. We know.
Yeah, man. I think there's more implications just than being able to use it medicinally or recreationally.
Yeah.
It's also keep people out of fucking jail. We have a lot of people in jail. Lots.
That's a fact.
Dude, you know what might be fun to ask the audience here in the last little part of the show? The three of us have a meeting to talk about some fun concepts and stuff going forward. Would it be fun to ask the crew like certain like the game show style stuff yet, or save that for another time? I feel like some people would have some fun little ideas of like ways that we could have another content day with them in the week. What do you think? Just try.
No, but he did just say, watch Food Theory on coffee changing history. He thinks cannabis legalization will change people's minds in a good way. I don't know what that sentence means even.
Food Theory so Food Theory must be like a content creator, and then he must have some sort of like mini doc, like maybe something about coffee changing history, and then he probably in that talks about cannabis. The legalization will change people's minds.
Oh, coffee changing history. Oh, did coffee change history? Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it did.
History. Fuck yeah. Holy
It's just
shit.
always been around since we were kids, so we just are used to it. But at some point, that shit had to.
Well,
Had to be
coffee's been
invented.
around for like for fucking ever, right? Like when do you think people started drinking coffee? Dude?
I always love going to like just Googling like the history of a thing and seeing like, first of all, who won the SEO and has that.
How long
website.
ago we been drinking coffee, Sean? Now that you got the Google up.
In the 15th century, coffee was being grown in the Yemeni district of Arabia. So apparently since the 15th century.
1400s.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, man, that was before the iPhone.
It beat it by a couple of years.
Yeah, and then alcohol. What came first, alcohol or?
Oh,
Coffee.
booze had to be first.
Alcohol. This
Alcohol
guy
came
in
first?
Deputy TV said in the thing that they went from depressants to a stimulant. So people were drinking beer at lunch, and they went from beer to coffee. And I think the reason they were drinking beer over water is the alcohol, the fermentation of it, I think would like not make it healthier is like the world's dumbest way to say that sentence, but like water can make you sick. You know what I mean? Like you go down to, they tell you not to drink water from, it can be infected with amoebas and all kinds of bacteria. Like you go just drink out of a random river or whatever. Well, the fermentation process of alcohol will get all those bad things out of there. So it was actually safer to drink alcohol than it was to drink water in like early human history at like medieval times. So people would be, they'd be drinking beer. Early Oxford, maybe like early, one of those like big colleges in the UK, they were serving like for their lunches and shit, they'd serve big pitchers of beer and stuff because it was safer to drink in early history than it was to drink water.
Yeah, these are saying like alcohol's been around since like 7,000 BC in India.
Damn, man, people can wait to get fucked up.
It makes sense too, because the fermentation process can happen pretty naturally, where I bet like drinking coffee beans is probably like a less likely thing to stumble upon. Like you can stumble upon some rotted apples that have become fermented and drink that apple juice and get drunk and be like, well, this makes me feel good. The likelihood of finding naturally like having hot water naturally run across some beans that you decide to drink, it's probably more likely that these people were eating these beans and then getting a jolt and figuring out like, wow, these taste like dick. Let me figure out a better way to get that jolt without having to chew these nasty gross beans. And probably like, let's pour some water over it and see if we can suck these stimulant juices. And I'd assume that's probably how it came, which is going to be, so it's probably a food before it was a drink, where getting drunk off fermented anything has probably just happened pretty naturally, more quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, literally everything you said, it sounds like is like, it was fermented like fruits and grains, and people in caves would like get
people
fucked up from that. It's this. Yeah,
that's why Johnny Appleseed became a famous story. This guy was literally going from east to west across the U.S., planting these apple trees so that people could ferment them to have something healthy to drink, so they weren't drinking out of the stream waters that had, who knows, animals and stuff be shitting in those stream waters, and next thing you know, you got dysentery or whatever the fuck you get from shit water.
Yeah.
That was the whole Johnny Appleseed thing, was going across the frontier and providing
Giardia
frontiersmen with an alcohol, something that they could drink and not get sick and shit their brains out till they die.
Yeah, he needs to go plant some apple trees in Costa Rica. I came back from that place all fucked up. My roommate
did you drink just beer?
Man, I was drinking ice cubes, water, anything.
That's your problem.
That shit. I was all fucked up. I was fucked up by like 10 a.m. I needed water by noon. I didn't care where it came from.
Yeah.
My roommate got Giardia from eating ass.
Oh God.
Giardia.
He ate his ex-girlfriend's ass, and apparently she drank the water from like Mexico or something, and he got secondhand Giardia. First ass Giardia, secondhand.
What's Giardia?
It's a microscopic parasite that causes the diarrheal illness known as Giardias or It is found on surfaces or in soil, food, or water and in fecal matter from humans infected or animals. Oh God, yeah. So he just, oh man, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
also, I like how my Google was like, you mean Jardinera, right? My Google knows me, baby.
Yeah, Jardinera.
Like
Bobby goes, sounds like those peppers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Ugh.
That just happened to me last night. I met these two new comics, and I was telling the one I'm from Macedonia, and she was like, I thought that was a nut. And I was like, I get that often.
Yeah, I could see that too.
I get that often. I saw this one dude in the audience. He had a head just like me. I was like, bro, I know one of your grandparents came here on a boat. Where you from? He was like, Serbia. Boy, I'm telling you, all these like Eastern European heads look the same. They all just like mushroom. They just flat in the back and pushed out on the sides. Flat as fuck in the back.
Oh, that's surprising. I thought, because isn't Serbia so much farther north than Macedonia?
It's all, they got to come over on a boat. If you had to come over here on a boat, you got that head. I'm telling you, it looks like the one up from Mario.
But what about the Irish? That means everybody who's not from the United States got a flat ass head?
Well, they stayed over there. The Irish stayed put. They stayed over there.
Bro, have you walked through? Yeah, have you seen Sean, bro?
Sean, who is 100% Irish? How far is that lineage for you?
I'm actually more Scottish, but it's not far off. It's like I'm mainly German and Polish, so it's like 4 or 5 grandparents.
Did you just roast me by saying, have you seen me claiming to be Irish? And then when I ask you about it, you go, I'm actually more Scottish.
Yeah, but do I look like I look like?
Oh,
You look like you're lying about your heritage.
I look like
you know what it
Ireland.
is? You came back, Sean. You came back full circle to us talking about. Sometimes you gotta lie in the jokes to make them funny, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Corey's
just gotta
taught me
like,
that.
you know
Sometimes
what? It
things
ain't
are just
true.
funnier.
This is the part of the joke that ain't true, but it's funny if you say it.
You do look
Yeah,
Irish.
100%.
What is your dad Irish? Is your dad Scottish?
Yeah, my dad's side is got that. Like they're from that region, and then my grandpa's German and Polish. My mom's side's German and Polish, so I'm all just European as shit.
Whole bunch of white.
Yeah, all white, all white everything, obviously.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I go through customs. I go through TSA. Like they nod to me. They're like, "Okay, you're all good, man." Dude, when I was in college, it's a fucking crazy story. When I was in college, I was covering like NCAA tournament or something. We're flying, and it was 3 people. It was 2 reporters and a photographer. Photographer was like Chinese heritage, looked very Asian. My other reporter was Lebanese, and then I'm this clear. And I was first at TSA. This is the first time I've ever like been so I recognized racism so insanely at an airport. Like I went through and they were like, how's it going? And like whatever, just like were chumming it up with me. They ended up, have you ever seen them do this to people? They went through both of their wallets and asked them about every single card in their wallet. They're like, what's this for? And he was like, that's like a Subway rewards card. He's like, okay. And he's like, what's this? He's like, that's a Michigan State Library card. They asked them each about every single thing in their fucking wallets. I've never seen that ever. Have you ever heard anything like that before?
Never in my life, bro.
I was standing there like for 30 minutes, like had my bags, just like watching them like get pulled aside. And I was like just 19 years old, just being like, oh, I've had it really fucking easy in my life. This is fucking crazy. And they were like obviously rattled from that for the next couple days. It was like crazy. I've just never seen anything like that. So in the middle of the day, like a Tuesday at noon, just like, oh, let's harass these 2 19-year-olds that we think are up to something. It's fucking wild.
I got tackled for peeing on a railroad tracks once, and they almost tried to give me a red dot.
A what?
They tried to give me a red dot. They tried to give me
Pedophile.
pedophile charges. They're
What?
threatening
If
me
you-
with pedophile charges for peeing in public.
I've heard it's if you get 3 of those, you get hit with you get on those maps, Corey. Like the neighborhood has to know Zacho lives there. He might touch
that's
your
what
kid.
the red dot is? The
Yeah,
red
it's
dot on the
because
18
map?
it's
years old. Almost
indecent
had to tell people I
exposure.
was in the neighborhood.
Oh my God, I never
Yeah.
knew about that.
I think it's a lot of people used to think it was just 1. I think you have to get 3 of those. But still, yeah, that's not.
EG cops, they were talking mad shit. They were like, whoa, congratulations. Rest of your life, you got to fucking check in. I was like, this fucking sucks, dude. What? I jumped no charges.
I jumped a construction site in college to use the porta potty. That's how much of a gentleman I am. I'm like, I'm not going to pee outside. I'm going to go into this construction site and jumped like
That's
a
crazy.
15-foot fence to go pee in a thing.
That's how different you are from Corey. I once saw Corey shit in a vehicle in a construction yard.
Really?
Yeah, mini bulldozer. Took a dump in the seat.
Oh, you mini bulldozer.
Yeah, one of those tiny little ones. They're called cats, I think.
You know, one of the little cats.
So what did you do about the wiping situation? Did you just like
Well,
said
I
no?
went next door to the McDonald's bathroom and I kicked the fucking toilet roll dispenser until it snapped, and then took their toilet paper and stole it so that I could wipe my butthole. I'm not a savage. I'm gonna wipe my butthole
dude?
when I'm done pooing.
And I
Whenever-
watched it while I was inside of the McDonald's eating food.
He was having a Big Mac, and dude, I always whenever I like pull off the expressway and like go to the bathroom in a McDonald's or a gas station, I think to myself, how did this get like this? There's no way someone actually. And then I talk to Corey and I go,
I just
that's how people are.
sit there and fucking just kick that bitch until it snapped. I didn't even tell any of my friends either. We were all there and I just left. I just went to the bathroom, took that toilet paper, and just left. Like, where's Corey at? And I was shitting.
A nice little poopy.
You're just like, you know what this mini bulldozer needs? My dump.
My dump.
Oh, yeah, we're different people.
That guy was probably, dude, imagine how pissed that guy. Imagine showing
Yeah,
up to
what
work.
is that? It's a bummer you couldn't see the reaction.
You show up to work, you already know you got to work construction all day.
5:30 in the morning.
It's raining. It's Ohio, fucking late November. Who knows? This guy shows up to work and there's a frozen turd on his seat. And you know it wasn't healthy. We were eating at McDonald's. It was a sloppy turd.
Yeah, dude. It's probably real sloppy.
He's got to clean that off before he gets on with his long 12-hour shift of construction working. Where half the day he's got to try to not get hit by a car. That's what he's got to do half the day. And the way he started it was cleaning up some 17-year-old idiots' turds. Unbelievable, really.
There's only one way to react to that, too. You open the door of that bulldozer at 5:30 in the morning. You got your fucking 72-ounce coffee that they always have. Open that door, and he looks at it and shuts the door and goes, "That's definitely shit," and walks away. You know you have to announce it to everyone. You go,
you got to quit your job right there.
You walk up to your foreman and you go, "I just want you to know that you need to go check out Bulldozer 3." And he opens it up and he's like, "Oh yeah, one of those high school kids shitting here again." It's probably got like things to know about. Like, oh yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to end today.
Perfect.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 82. TheUnemployablesPod.com. All the merch is on there. The episodes are on there as well. And all the information about the podcast. And then if you want to listen and talk to us live next week at 3 p.m. Eastern every Monday, twitch.tv/TheUnemployables. Zach, Sean, Corey, signing out. Guys, it was great talking to you today.
Peace.
They're unemployable, they're unemployable. Never met somebody less employable.